Hey guys, Origins Game Fair is coming up in just a little over a week from the time of this recording, and today we are going to take a look at some of our most anticipated games that are going to be released or demoed at the show, plus some honorable mentions and some expansions and some other things, just a lot of stuff. So stick with us, let's get to the table and talk it over. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is David.
I'm Kathy.
I'm Ryan.
And today we are going to talk about our most anticipated games that are going to be either demoed or sold for the first time at Origins Game Fair 2017, which is a convention that is in Columbus, Ohio. And I believe it's there every year, right?
Yes.
It's going to be our first time for all of us attending this year, and we are very much looking forward to it. We invited Kathy over to participate in the top 5 list as a different perspective. So as Board Together Games, you know, we focus on family-style games and games that are good for people who are new to the hobby. Kathy comes to it from a different perspective, and I wanted her to be involved in this to basically lay out some of the other games that maybe would be next step games or heavier games. If you're at that point in your gaming repertoire that you're ready for some more things like that, because I wanted this to be kind of a well-rounded video to kind of showcase and spotlight all of the stuff that's coming for Origins. So we're happy to have her here with us.
Thank you.
This is going to be kind of impromptu. We're just going to rattle off some games, not go into too much depth about them other than to just tell you a little bit about them, show a couple pictures, and let you decide for yourself what you think of them. So off we go. All right, so we all have our cheat sheets in front of us here because we're not smart enough to remember all these all these games that we're going to talk about. Nope. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about some expansions. This is not part of our top 5, if you will. Each of us are going to have a top 5 games that we're looking forward to. But as far as expansions, some things that we're looking forward to that aren't new release type of games or full games that are coming out. The first one I want to discuss or just say a little bit about is called Orléans Trade and Intrigue. This is an expansion to one of my favorite games of all time. It is a heavier game. It's a European-style strategy game. Very cool game.
Very cool game.
It's called Orléans, and this expansion basically introduces 2 different main, I guess, not mechanisms, but modules to the board, which are, oddly enough, trade and intrigue. And how they do that is by swapping out from the original game what they call the beneficial deeds board, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. And one of those is designed for trade. One of them is designed for intrigue. The intrigue one is basically a lot of do bad stuff to your opponents. It's not gotten a lot of love from a lot of reviewers, and I'm probably not going to like it that much either. But the trade part of it is what I'm really interested in. It gives you a lot more incentive to move your tokens that you're drawing out of your bag over to that beneficial deeds board, you know, mainly towards the end of the game, to do more things, to score more points, that kind of thing. So very much looking forward to that one. That is Orléans Trade and Intrigue. Kathy, do you have an honorable mention you want to throw out here?
Actually, that was one of my honorable mentions that I had as well.
Crossover!
Yeah!
So yeah, we knew we would have some of that. There's going to be a lot of games at the convention, but as far as the ones that are new, either for demo or for sale, I mean, it's a pretty good list, but it's not a monstrous list.
Right.
So Orléans, what about it are you liking? Same kind of stuff?
The same thing. The same things I'm not going to like and the same things that I am going to like.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person that enjoys building up something just to have it being taken away. And apparently one of the things in the intrigue part of this expansion is that people can take away your achievements. And that is something that I probably wouldn't enjoy. But I think the trade part side of it is something I would really be interested in seeing how that's going to look.
Yeah. And because the intrigue stuff, it's mean.
Yes,
there's some mean stuff.
Yes.
Ryan, are you looking forward to this one too? I bet you are. Yeah, we all love this game. I have Kathy and I both own the base game. I have the first expansion, which was the one that introduced solo mode, solo play and co-op. Co-op play. It's just very cool. So if you're interested, again, this is a little bit heavier compared to what our audience would normally be looking for. But yeah, check it out. Orléans, Trade and Intrigue. All right, the next expansion that I'm kind of looking forward to is for Onitama. And the expansion is called Sensei's Path. This is, Onitama is a 2-player only game that is chess-like, but it is, I would say, simpler than chess because every game you've only got how many?
You only have 5 pieces.
5 pieces. No, 5 different moves. 5 different moves that you can do.
And 5 pieces.
And 5 pieces? Oh, okay. Well, and 5 pieces on the board. And you basically swap those cards that are the things that tell you how you are able to move any of your characters for that given turn.
Right.
They move back and forth between the players, which is really cool. And this is a small expansion. It just introduces some new animals or new
cards
that give you new ways to move your pieces around the board to capture your opponent. So yeah, I just think it looks really cool. I don't own the game, but Kathy does, and it just looks like more Onitama is going to be good.
Yeah.
Right. Ryan, I know Ryan hasn't even played Onitama yet, but you are really looking forward to that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're going to get that over here at some point. Well, I don't know when. Maybe we'll take it with us.
And play it at Origins.
And play it at the hotel or something. Yeah. It does travel pretty well.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty small.
Yeah, and the expansion, like I said, is small. Kathy, this is probably one you're looking forward to as well, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
On your list?
It was an honorable mention of my list. Not quite on my list, but it's a definite maybe. I'm interested in seeing what it's got to offer.
Okay.
So
very good. That's Onitama Sensei's Path.
Another expansion that I'm interested in seeing at Origins is Baseball Highlights 2045 Spring Training. I own the base game. I unfortunately haven't played it yet. It's on my wall of shame that I have not opened I've opened it, but I haven't played it yet.
Don't call it that. It's the wall of games that need some more love.
That's right. There you go. I like that one a lot better. But anyway, so the spring training is actually supposed to be like an introductory game to Baseball Highlights 2045. So that intrigued me because it sounds a little different than an expansion does. So I want to see exactly what they're going to do with the spring training piece of it. It sounds to me like it might even be something that you would even pick up before 2045, the base game, to see, if you liked it, because I think it might be smaller, just a little bit smaller footprint, or maybe you play less games in a season.
Right.
But so that one looks really interesting to me. So I'm interested to check that one out.
And again, that's a 2-player only game, right?
Yes.
Can you play it with more? I thought there was some sort of variant you could play with more people.
I think the base game has variants where you can play 1 to 4, but the expansion is strictly 2.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good to know. Baseball Highlights 2045. What was the?
Spring Training.
Spring Training.
Yeah.
All right. My next expansion is Adventureland: The King and Princess. Adventureland is what is it? It's 2 to 4 players. And basically you are moving a number of pawns that are in your player color from the northwest corner of the board to the southeast corner of the board in a fashion to where once you move any distance south or east, you can never move that particular character back north or west. It's a very intriguing type of mechanic there as far as the movement on the board. There's no limit as to how far you can move on a given turn, but once you go a certain distance, you can't go back the other way. It's very cool. This expansion introduces a few new scenarios to the game, which the scenarios basically give you different means by which you can score points for the particular game that you're playing. And we really like it. It's an excellent gateway game, something the whole family can get into. Super simple to understand, teach, learn, all that fun stuff. So looking forward to that one a lot. Adventureland: The King and Princess.
Well, I also chose that one as an expansion that I'm interested in seeing as well.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah. I thought it was very intriguing, and since I don't own the base game, but you do, and I've played it before, and I really enjoyed the play that we had.
Yeah.
So when I saw this expansion was going to be available there, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, me too.
The last expansion that I want to mention is probably my favorite one that I'm most looking forward to, and I'm really hoping it's going to be available when I get there.
I know what it is.
He does know what it is. It's called Tiny Epic Galaxies Beyond the Black.
Yeah.
I am very, very excited to get my hands on this expansion. I don't even own the base game yet because you can't find it. But the minute I can find it, I will have it. And I'm going to purchase this if it's still available when I walk through the door. This will be the first thing that I look for when I get there because I know it's probably going to go pretty quick. So anyway, it's just an expansion onto Tiny Epic Galaxies, which is a great little I would say it's pretty
worker placement.
Yeah, it's a worker placement. It's a pretty small game, but there's a lot of strategy in this little game. It's really interesting, the different moves that you can make with your little ships, and I'm really, really excited to see the expansion and see what else it adds. I know that it adds 4 new ships that are like bigger ships that you can upgrade to, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays. So definitely looking forward to this one.
Yep, and that was my last expansion for my list as well. Tiny Epic Galaxies Beyond the Black. And Ryan and I both had this on our list because we both very much enjoy that game, and we don't own it either. And I'm anticipating that they're going to have copies of the base game there.
I hope you're right. I hope there's a lot.
Yeah, I am anticipating it. And, you know, I don't know if it's that you can't get it. It's just the places you can find it, it's kind of a little higher than what I think maybe it should be as far as the price goes. Yeah. So yeah, and that may be the case at Origins as well. But if they have them both sitting there, you know, no shipping, sure, I'll take it. So yeah,
I'm with you.
Okay, moving on to honorable mentions. These are going to be games that are not quite making our top 5 list, basically. But still good enough that we want to check them out, demo them, possibly even purchase them if we like what we see. And Ryan, do you have any honorable mentions?
Unfair.
Unfair. So I had a feeling he might have this on his list. Unfair. I'm not sure of the player count. Honestly, I don't have it on my paper in front of me.
I think it's 2 to 4.
It may be 2 to 4. That sounds right. If not, it'll be at the bottom of the screen here. We'll put all the stats up there for it. But it's a mean game. It has a way to mitigate that meanness as far as the player-to-player interaction, I think. Mm-hmm. But the game itself just beats you up, is what I understand. It looks really cool. It's a game about building a theme park, which I love that. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what, either that is what drew it to him, or the fact that it's a mean game is what drew him to it. But it could both. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, Unfair. I think Kathy's in agreement with me on this one as far as probably not really being... Well, I would play it.
Yes.
I would totally play it.
But I don't think I would actually buy it because I don't think I would play it enough to warrant buying it. But yeah, if someone asked me to play it, I would play it, at least to try it.
Sure. And walk away mad.
Yes.
Probably. All right, one of my honorable mentions is Rhino Hero Super Battle. And this is a really cool looking 2 to 4 player stacking game from Havre. Havre does amazing work with kids games, and they've really kind of gotten into more of the family style games here lately, which is really cool. But this one is just thicker cards, like a card stock type of cards, and you fold them, and certain rule sets in the game or instructional cards will tell you how you have to place these things to build a tower up on the board. And then you also have your player character that you'll have opportunities to move that character up levels and down levels, and you're basically fighting to see who can get to the top of the tower. And whoever is the highest on the tower when the whole thing falls over is the winner. It's a follow-up to the original Rhino Hero, which is just basically a smaller version of the game with some differences. But yeah, this one is going to be demoed only. I don't think they're going to have any copies for sale. I'm still holding out hope that they do, but it looks really, really cool. Looking forward to that one. Rhino Hero Super Battle.
One of my honorable mentions is called Bärenpark. I think it's pronounced Bärenpark. Yeah. It's a 2 to 4 player game. They say it plays in 45 minutes. From Lookout Games. It's a tile placement game, which is definitely something that I enjoy. It's one of my favorite mechanics. So that intrigued me to start with. And basically you're building a bear park with the tiles, and whoever has the most beautiful park at the end, which would mean the most points, would win. And looking at the components and the way that things looked at the game with the game, from what I'm seeing so far, it's definitely on my list. So something I'm interested in at least seeing and maybe even buying if it's in the right wheelhouse for me.
Sure. Bärenpark?
Bärenpark. One of my honorable mentions is Century Spice Road. This one looks very interesting to me. It's a card drafting, deck building, and it's also got hand management and set collection, which are all pretty interesting to me. Basically, you're supposed to be traveling along the famed Spice Road, taking spices to I'm not sure exactly where, but to deliver spices. And
Down that spice road.
yeah, down that one spice road. Yeah. With the Spice Girls? No. Anywho.
We'll leave that in.
So,
Totally threw her off your groove.
you really did. Anyway, Century Spice Road. Dave, do you have any interest in that one?
Maybe later. All right, my next honorable mention is from Tasty Minstrel Games. It's a little card game called Dokey. And this one looks really cool. It kind of reminds me of, in certain ways, of The Game. That card game, basically, where you're just playing higher numbers or lower numbers on the stacks.
That's a great game.
It has some similarities. You basically are building columns of cards on the board, and you can only play. There's suits of cards in your hand, and they're numbered. Okay, and you're building up these columns, and once you start a column, you have to finish that column, and then there are zeros that allow you to reset the numbers. You always have to place higher than the card that was in the previous column for each color. And each row is a color. It's very interesting, very cool. It's cooperative. So it just looks really interesting to me. Looks like a really cool family game. So more than likely, I'm going to pick this one up if it's still there when I show up to the booth. And that's Dokey from Tasty Minstrel Games.
Another one of my honorable mentions is Pinball Showdown. This one just looks very interesting to me because I love pinball. So the fact that it's called Pinball Showdown was immediately, I was like, ooh, what is this about? So basically it is a set collection game again, and it's an auction style. So I'm not sure exactly how that'll work, but basically you are the pinball. So you are trying to score the most points, and while you're bouncing around, trying to make sure that you hit as many bumpers and things like that as possible to get the highest score. So, I mean, it just sounds really interesting. So definitely something I'm going to have my eye out for.
All right, my next honorable mention is One Night Ultimate Alien. And I know one person at this table is completely disinterested right now. This is a standalone game that is in the same universe or same series as the One Night Ultimate Werewolf, which is a spin-off of Ultimate Werewolf, which is a spin-off of Werewolf, which is a spin-off of Mafia. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's a social deduction game where every person gets a role, and the entire game is basically players trying to figure out who the other players are by talking.
It's like Survivor the board game. You get kicked out because they think you're whatever.
Kind of, yeah, I can see that. But in the right group, and you can play up to 10 people in these games, including this one, the moments that can happen, the laughter, that's what really draws me to these games. And One Night Ultimate Alien introduces some new interesting things with the companion app that comes with it, where certain roles, the task that they are going to do during the night phase, where everyone closes their eyes and different things happen and roles get switched around, it changes from game to game. So that's what really intrigued me, and it looks like some of the new roles are very cool, very interesting. So I'm looking forward to grabbing this one. It actually takes away some of the complexity that came in its predecessor, One Night Ultimate Vampire, which I did not care for. But yeah, this one looks really good. I'm going to buy it. It's One Night Ultimate Alien.
Another one of my honorable mentions is Samara, which is from Tasty Minstrel Games, 2 to 5 players. And basically it is a time track for the key mechanisms. So like you put your players on this board that's got months on it, and it's I believe it's a worker placement, or what you're going to have to build buildings, and you're moving. It's like the time tracker keeps track of how long it's going to take to get through the game, and depending on where that time track moves, you may or may not get to do certain actions. So it just looked really interesting to me, and I believe the game is not brand new because there's a game night that was done with it, and it looked really interesting. So
really?
Yeah, so I'm really interested in picking this up. I don't know why they're having it here and it's debuting. I don't know if they're trying to do a re-release or maybe it's a new print run because maybe it was unavailable. I'm not sure. But it was on the list and it looked like something I'm really interested in picking up. So I
saw it on the list, but I didn't dig into it very much because I'm not sure why. But yeah, what was the name of it again?
Samara.
Samara.
Tasty Minstrel Games.
Can't go wrong there.
No.
All right, my last honorable mention is a game called Rocky Road a la Mode, which is another really simple family-style looking, basically card game. Basically, you're ice cream delivery guy, and you're trying to please as many customers as possible by getting them the right kinds of ice cream, what they're looking for at the time to score victory points. It looks really neat. It is simple, but it looks like it's just got some really good decision making in it. It's kind of what drew me to it. The artwork is adorable. It's for 2 to 4 players, and yeah, it just looks like something that's right in Board Together Games wheelhouse, So this is certainly one that Ryan and I are going to be looking at, maybe even demoing to see if it's something we want to pick up. So that is Rocky Road a la Mode.
Sounds interesting.
Okay, it's finally time for our top 5 games, top 5 most anticipated games of Origins Game Fair 2017. That's a mouthful.
Woohoo!
And we're going to start off with Ryan. Ryan, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is a game called Hotshots. It's a game for 1 to 4 players, 60 minutes, ages 10 and up, and a game by Fireside Games.
Yeah?
Hotshots is a cooperative and push your luck dice rolling game.
Cool.
Yeah?
About fighting a forest fire. This game, the company who made this game is they made a different game that I really like. It's called Castle Panic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
It's one of our favorites, yeah. Yeah, I saw a little bit about this, too. It looks really cool. The mechanics look really neat. It's, the first thing I thought of when I saw it was Flashpoint Fire Rescue.
I thought of that, too.
Thinking
when I saw that.
firefighters, but it looks completely different than that, other than the fact
Definitely.
that it's cooperative. But it looks really cool. You can block the fire by placing blockades and things like that. It's a hexagon tiles type board, which looks really cool. Yeah, hexes. So that's your number 5. And it is called...
Hotshots.
Who wants to go next?
I will.
All right.
My number 5 is called Sports Dice Baseball. Notice a theme. I love baseball. This is by Andy Jeremia. I hope I pronounced that right, Andy. Fun Whiz Games, 2 to 4 players, 10 to 20 minutes. So it's a dice rolling game where you have 6 dice and you're simultaneously rolling. And their description says that it feels like a real game. So apparently it's you can get
That's what they all say.
it says you can get triple plays and grand slams and all that kind of thing. So it's got all the terminology that you can do in a real game in this game. So definitely on my radar. I definitely want to see a demo, and I'll probably be picking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sports Dice Baseball.
Yes, Sports Dice Baseball.
Okay, my number 5 is Century Spice Road.
Hey!
Which Kathy talked about just a little bit ago. It's for ages 8 and up. It's about 30 to 45 minutes is what they're saying. And yeah, it looks like a great gateway. Resource management, buy cards for victory points, real simple, 1 of 4 actions that you can do on your turn. And just, it's a beautiful game. And I did find out that they're going to have the player mats there.
Yes, they are.
That's probably going to have to go into the old shopping basket.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you
going
on
in
that
the buggy.
one. It just, I saw pictures of it when they were playing the game on the mat, and it just looks so pretty in presentation.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Certainly not necessary,
no.
but it looks cool. So,
Yeah.
So that's my number 5, Century Spice Road. Okay, Ryan, what's your number 4?
One you said on your honorable mention list, and it's
that
called
is?
Rhino Hero Super Battle.
Yeah.
Cool.
This one looks great. Yeah. What do you got about it?
Well, it's a tower building game with cards and stuff that he already mentioned.
Yeah.
And yay!
Yeah. So again, yeah, we're really hoping this one shows up with a few, pre-release copies. They didn't say they were going to have them, but we're hoping so. You're number 4. Very cool.
Okay, my number 4 is a game that's probably a little more on the heavier side of things. So not really in the wheelhouse of Board Get Together games, but it looks like a really interesting game. It's called Lorenzo Il Magnifico. I'm going to try this, by Flaminia Brazzini, Virginio Gigli, and Simone Luciani.
Close enough.
Thank you. Simon Limited is the publisher, 2 to 4 players, and plays from 60 to 120 minutes. This game is a dice rolling game, and it's worker placement. And basically, you're all heads of a noble family that during the Renaissance, and you're trying to gain fame and prestige, which is victory points, over each other. So essentially, it's pretty much something that it's right in my wheelhouse for sure, because I love the European style games, and this is definitely one of those. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing this in play, and probably will buy this one as well.
Wow. Lorenzo Il Magnifico. All right, my number 4 is a little game called Werewords. This is a 4 to 10 player game. It's another party-style social deduction type of game with a twist. We explained before with the One Night series where everybody gets a role. You basically talk it out, try to figure out who each other are. Mm-hmm. And this is similar to that, but it introduces an interesting mechanic that's more of a 20 questions type of a thing built into that same type of a game. So there's going to be 2 people, I think, in the game, 2 roles, 2 characters who know what a secret word or phrase is. And then the rest of the players are trying to figure out what that is, while at the same time trying to figure out who the werewolves are, similar to werewolf, right? Mm-hmm. So it just looks like it's a really neat twist to it. It's been compared to another game that came out last year called Insider, a little really tiny game from ONENGHT Games, mm-hmm. But with a little bit more going on, which I like. Put a little bit more interesting stuff into that simple of a game. So right. It looks really cool. It's just one of those that with a group that we play with when we go to parties and do games with large groups, it's going to fit right in with that crew. So probably going to end up in the basket. That's Werewords.
My number 3 is a game that we played at Geekway to the West, but it wasn't available at the time. It's called New York Slice.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
For 2 to 6 players, 30 minutes, ages 8 and up, by Bezier Games. Mm-hmm. And they also made the One Night things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's
they
true.
do the One Night series as well. Right. So what's this one about?
You're splitting pizza.
Right.
It's the type of game, it's called I Split, You Choose. So the start player splits the 11-slice pizza however they want, but they're the last to choose the pieces that they...
Yeah, you split it up. You split it up into the same amount of groups as there are number of players, right?
Yes.
And then starting to the left of that person who split the pizza, players start choosing any one of the groups that's been split off of that pizza. And the person who did the split's the last one to pick, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we did play this, and it's a lot of fun. We enjoyed it quite a bit. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, it looks really cool. Very, very well-produced game, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's your number what again?
3.
My number 3 is a game that is not brand new, but they are going to have it at Origins because it is a recent Spiel des Jahres nominee, and it's called Kingdomino.
Oh, yeah.
It's done by Bruno Cathala. It's Blue Orange Games, 2 to 4 players, 15 to 20 minutes. It is a tile placement game and card drafting. You are a lord trying to expand your kingdom. So I'm really excited about this game because it's a Spiel des Jahres winner, which, in case you're not familiar with what that is, that's a award that's done in Germany every year, announcing like the best games that are out for that particular year. And since this is a nominee, that's a pretty prestigious award. So
right, and it's usually lighter family style.
Exactly,
games.
Right. So definitely looked interested. I've heard a lot of really good reviews about it, so I'm very anxious to see what it looks like, and I'll probably buy it as well.
Works really good 2-player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And it has a really cool turn order mechanism, how you decide turn order from round to round.
Cool.
It looks really cool, yeah.
Kingdomino.
My number 3 has already been mentioned by someone else, but not in their top 5. Yeah, maybe it was. Was this in your top 5? Sports Dice Baseball.
Yes, that was my number 5.
Yeah, I found very little information on this other than the title and the fact that it was dice and it was kind of a simulated baseball game. Mm-hmm. And that's all I needed, really, for it to be my number 3 because I'm a big baseball fan as well.
And who doesn't like a dice checker, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, dice are good. Yeah, it did look really cool. It sounded very, very interesting. So, yeah, that was my number 3, Sports Dice Baseball. All right, we are moving on to number 2, Ryan. What do you have?
My number 2 is a game that Kathy already mentioned. It's called Kingdomino.
Oh, we're having quite a bit of crossover here, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's a tile-laying game. That's one of my favorite mechanics.
Yeah.
And it has 6, I think? Yeah, 6 different things that you can score points on.
Oh, yeah, the different landscapes. 6 different types of landscape on the tiles, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks really cool. It's a point-scoring game, right?
Right.
Which is very common, but yeah, the artwork looks cool. It looks like it plays good with all player counts. Yeah, this one does look really good. I did not have it on my list, but you guys both did, which it might have been because it has been out for a while. Maybe that kind of, I don't know, it didn't ring as exciting maybe to me, I guess, because it wasn't a brand new release.
Right.
Right. But still, yeah, Kingdomino looks really good.
Yep. So my number 2 is Cottage Garden. This is also a game that's not brand new. It's been out before.
Hard to get, though.
It was just very difficult to get. It's been on my wish list for a while, so I'm really looking forward to them. I did not notice if it's just going to be demoed or if they're going to actually have copies. I would assume they're going to have copies since it's already been released.
I don't know. I didn't see. We'll
But
try to put a note if we can look that up before the video goes up.
Right. So anyway, this game is by Uwe Rosenberg, Stronghold Games. 1 to 4 players, plays in 45 to 60 minutes. It is a tile placement game, which, as Ryan mentioned, that's also one of my favorite mechanisms. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. It's a Tetris style pieces. I guess not really supposed to say Tetris, but they're called poly something. Anyway, they look like little pieces of Tetris because they're all different shapes and sizes. And you're trying to get them on your garden and cover your garden as much as possible. And there's also little kittens in it, which I love. So it's really cute. Aw. So definitely looking forward to seeing if this one's going to be available because I will definitely buy it. And that is Cottage Garden.
All right, my number 2 has been mentioned already, and it is Pinball Showdown. Yes, yeah. I spent a lot of my early to mid 20s in front of a pinball machine.
Yes.
And dropped a lot of quarters into these guys and just had a blast. So, yeah, to me, same thing. As soon as I saw the word pinball, I'm in. Sign me up. Shut up and take my money.
Shut up and take my money, yes.
Yeah. Love the idea of a game based around pinball. And this does look good. I mean, I did go far enough to at least check out some of the mechanics and try to get an idea of the gameplay, and it looks good. It looks interesting. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
well, the fact that you're the pinball is the cool part.
Yeah. The speed aspect where the speed of the pinball will increase and decrease.
Right.
Depending on, I'm not sure what this guy's doing over here, but
I think he's trying to be a pinball.
So yeah, that looks really cool. The artwork looks amazing.
Yes.
Super like 70s retro-y kind of almost.
I know.
Or Saturday Night Fever looking artwork. Looks really cool. But yeah, that's Pinball Showdown. It is 2 to 4 players. Female designer on this one.
Yeah, Diane
which is
Sauer.
really cool. Really cool too. So yeah, looking forward to it a lot. Haven't heard of the publisher very much, Shoot Again Games, but yeah, we'll definitely be taking a closer look and possibly even bringing you a closer look later on this one. Pinball Showdown. Okay, it is time for our number 1 most anticipated games, starting with Ryan. Here we go.
Well, my number 1 is a more heavier game. It's called Kerala or something.
I think it's Kerala.
Kerala.
Yeah. Well, we saw this at Geekway also, didn't we?
Yes.
We did not get a chance to play it. It was in the play and win section, and it was always gone.
Yes.
And we saw people playing it everywhere. But yeah, tell us about it.
It's a tile-laying drafting game. Tiling and drafting is okay, but it's not my favorite.
I thought you loved drafting.
It's not my favorite, but I do like it.
Okay, cool.
On your turn, you draw the tiles equal to the number of players. Then the start player chooses one, and then it goes clockwise around the table and for choosing one and placing it on their board.
Okay.
And when you place one, you move your elephant. It has to be adjacent to where your elephant is at that point.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that sounds really cool. And this is another game that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Is this Cosmos?
Yes, it is.
Cosmos. They do great productions anyway.
They really do.
And I've seen the elephant tokens are huge. These
They are.
huge
They're
wooden,
chunky.
yeah, wooden
Like
elephant
this big
tokens.
and super thick. Yeah.
Yeah, the tiles are really thick, nice cardboard. There's the cover on it has gold foil. I mean, and that's something that'll catch your eye right there. So yeah, looks like a beautiful production. I hope it plays as good as it looks. Mm-hmm. That's a good one, Ryan. Kerala.
Nice call.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 1 is a little bit heavier game, and it's not a new game, but it is a reprint of a game that I've been waiting for a while. It is called Le Havre, and that is it is done by Uwe Rosenberg again, another game by him, which I love his designs. Mayfair Games, 1 to 5 players in 30 to 150 minutes. So obviously it's a little bit of a heavier game. It's going to take a little longer to play. It's a worker placement style. Every 7 turns starts a new round, and that's kind of how the time track goes. Basically, you're farming, building, and shipping.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I love Euro games, and this is definitely a Euro game. So I am very much looking forward to this game. Hoping there's going to be copies left when we get there, because I will be purchasing one for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of a classic.
Yeah, it is a classic.
Considered one of the classic European style strategy games.
Right.
Has been out of print for a long time.
Yes.
We had a chance to play it at Geekway, but then we turned it down for a chance to play Yokohama instead.
Yes.
But my understanding is it is a strategic game, but once you understand the main mechanisms, it's really not that difficult.
It's a little intuitive. It just kind of,
right.
You know what comes next.
Right. So yeah, that's definitely a good one there. Definitely a good one.
And that is Le Havre.
Mm-hmm. And my number 1 is way outside of something that I would normally pick. Way outside. It's a game called Ethnos. And this is from Cool Mini or Not, Simon. And it's designed by Paolo Mori, which is one of the reasons that I'm interested in it. He also designed a game called Libertalia, which we may feature at some point in the future here at BTG.
That is a great game.
It is for 2 to 6 players, and it is area control. If you look at it on a table, it looks a little bit intimidating, especially for somebody who's new or for families. And honestly, from what I'm seeing of the artwork and things, it looks not that great. The artwork.
Right.
And the production. But the mechanics look super cool. The way that it works and the way things kind of intertwine and work together in this game just looks really, really cool. So, and again, Paolo Mori, I'm definitely going to give it a chance just because of that. And it's getting a lot of buzz, which is another reason why it's kind of pushing up on this list all the way up to number 1. I'm definitely going to demo this thing. So it's not an insta-buy for me, but because of what it is and the fact that it interests me so much because it is so far out of my normal, not comfort zone, but my normal wheelhouse, yeah. That is why it is so striking to me. It's why it's kind of drawing me to it. I don't know. So certainly looking forward to it. That's Ethnos from Cool Mini or Not. So that's our list, you guys. That's our top 5. Well, I guess top 60 for games that are coming up either for demo or release at Origins 2017.
We can't help but we like games.
Yeah, exactly. I had a couple more I was going to throw out there. I also had Le Havre on my list, and it didn't make my list simply because it is a heavier game. That's one of the reasons why I had Kathy over, was to kind of give us that perspective on these things. Also, a game called Pit Crew from Stronghold Games. It's a real-time game that's about racing. Actually, not racing. You're the pit crew. The whole game is who can get their racing car turned around out of the pits with fuel and tires and stuff like that and back out onto the racetrack as quick as possible. Yep. The fastest. Looks really cool, from Jeff Engelstein. Also, Can't Stop Express, which is a follow-up to a classic gateway-style game called Can't Stop, which is dice rolling and moving pawns up a track and just see who gets the farthest and can we get the most points and win. This is a roll and write version of that, which I thought was really cool. So nice, yeah. Looking forward to checking that one out, seeing what it's about. Did you have any others that were just kind of...
I have a long list, but that's just because I'm probably going to be spending a lot of money, and there's a lot of things that I'm interested in. So.
That is so true. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm really going to do my best to try to be... not picky, but discerning
Yeah.
Right, about the games that I end up taking home with me. But
right, and the anticipated list that I made are ones that I want to look at, and I'm assuming that I'm going to buy, but that may change after I see a demo of it, and the ones that are more honorable mentions may end up being ones that I purchased because I liked them better. So you just never know. That's what this is, why it's called an anticipation list. We're just not really exactly sure what's going to be involved. So it's kind of
we can play something and hate it.
Exactly.
And I'm actually looking for those things that are out of the norm. I'm looking for that small publisher who's there with just his one game that's a simple light card game that has something completely new in it. Those types of things are things that I'm looking for as well. And we should mention that all of our lists were compiled using a kind of a rundown list from Eric Martin at BoardGameGeek.com. So thanks to him for putting that list together so we could put our list together.
Thanks, Eric.
Wanted to throw that out there real quick. And so if you guys are liking what we're doing here, please take a minute to like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. We would love it. And also click on the link for Gamer Threads. Gamer Threads is a company we talk about a lot who makes excellent t-shirts. They made the t-shirts for us for Board Together Games. I'm wearing one right now. They do an amazing job. They have some really clever designs that are board game related. So if you're into games, you certainly want to click on that and check it out. I think you're definitely going to find something you like over there. And remember, guys, if you're bored together,
board together.
Thanks again for watching. We will see you at Origins.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm here for you.
No.
I love cameraman Kev. No, we're all going to say our own name.
Oh.
I'm David. I'm Kathy. I'm Ryan.
Kevin.
Hey, cameraman Kev's doing a great job. Y'all give it up for cameraman Kev one time. Yeah. Get to work.